Or what?
They're leaning into woke. Hardcore.
They're petrified
Yeah.
of some kind of backlash. I mean, you see with Disney now. I mean, Disney, one of the most gay-friendly companies.
And Disney decided to hire the most insufferable girl boss narcissist that exists on Earth, who hates Snow White.
It has proven to be Disney's worst investment ever in the history of Disney investments. I mean, they've gone through various scandals with this girl.
If I'm Bob Iger, you know what we're doing? Emergency meeting. We're putting Snow White on hold for 2 years, and guess what?
Smart.
Pay her a couple $1,000,000, go away. We're going to bring another person to play this role.
Great. Okay? It's great. I'm honored. I don't know why I sound so angry right now. I'm honored. Am I
I'm a narcissist. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Okay.
Headlines erupt like sirens across every major feed. Rachel Ziegler, once hailed as Disney's chosen one to reinvent their most iconic princess, has vanished. Gone. Just hours after Disney's legal team dropped a jaw-dropping $100 million lawsuit on her agent's desk. Paparazzi flood the sidewalk outside her LA condo. Fans hover like vultures. Reporters stake out every angle. But Rachel, she's disappeared without a trace.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White.
Right.
You should shut up and do the job.
Tucked into a late-night international departure, one name appears. Quiet, unnoticed. Rachel Ziegler. No entourage, no fanfare, just gone. Months ago, she was dazzling on red carpets in a shimmering Snow White gown. Now, she's slipped into the elite ranks of celebrity vanishings. Where is she? Why the sudden exit? And what exactly exploded inside that Burbank boardroom to turn a Disney dream into full-blown courtroom drama?
These people, and this is the difference between a business owner or someone who does very well for themselves in the private sector to become wealthy. This person was born looking a certain way and has a God-given ability to lie for a living. That's really what acting is, to pretend.
The spark ignited long before lawyers got involved. It all started with a promo campaign meant to feel bold, fresh, a feminist upgrade to a 70-year-old fairy tale. At first, Rachel was radiant, confident. Her energy sold the dream that this remake would matter. But then the tone shifted. Just a single offhand remark, calling the original dated, was all it took. A tiny misstep that landed like a bomb, and the internet started to turn.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious.
A comment downplaying the prince's role echoed through fan circles like a warning bell. But the real wildfire, a live stream clip caught mid-sidewalk, Rachel, part smirking, part irritated, claiming fans would always show up for her work, no matter what. That line exploded. Replayed on loop, memed, mocked, stitched into TikToks with dark violin tracks like a cinematic meltdown in real time.
Jonah Platt, whose father helped produce the latest Snow White film, had some very harsh words for star Rachel Ziegler.
For context, Variety wrote a report recently titled Inside Disney's Snow White Fiasco, Death Threats, Beefed Up Security, and a Social Media Guru for Rachel Ziegler.
This is Rachel Ziegler, who Disney decided would be brilliant in casting because, as Rachel Ziegler says, her millions of fans will line up no matter what she does to see her.
The same fans who once cheered her on hit rewind and saw something else. Not charm, but arrogance. Not confidence, but entitlement. Maybe even a hint of disdain for the very audience she was meant to win over. Disney's PR machine scrambled. To contain the fallout, slapping on fixes as fast as the damage spread. But each fix unraveled the next. They'd bet on a fresh, young voice to revive their oldest legacy, only to learn that voice couldn't be controlled.
Telling timeless classic tales, and they want people to buy tickets to go see them. But these companies have very different strategies of accomplishing that goal.
When producers nudged her to tone things down during the European press tour, Rachel didn't budge. She doubled down, insisting she owed her generation the truth, not a filtered version of it. Then came the late-night post, backing a hot button. Political cause that blindsided Disney's marketing team. They had pleaded with her to hold off on anything divisive until after the premiere. But hours later, a private "please reconsider" message from an exec leaked, and suddenly the internet was ablaze with a new firestorm: artistic freedom versus corporate control.
I'd say that this is one of Disney's biggest regrets ever. I mean, I checked, we've discussed it before. I checked Rotten Tomatoes, and the score is even lower than the last time we talked.
Then came the test screening numbers. Finally, something solid. Families who'd felt talked down to by the trailers reported just mild interest. Lifelong Disney fans said the film looked grander, sure, but felt hollow, like the soul had been. Swapped out for slogans. Still, Disney's top brass kept smiles on. They pointed to pre-sales hovering just above the danger zone and pinned their hopes on Thanksgiving crowds. But behind closed doors, the mood was shifting fast.
Every time she speaks, she gets less likable. There's some clip of her on the internet in her Snow White outfit saying, "Every hour I am in the outfit of Snow White wearing the dress. All 18 hours, I deserve to be paid for every single one."
Behind the curtain, a very different story was playing out. Spreadsheets lit up with red flags, runaway costs, VFX delays, and an ad budget ballooning to match the entire production cost. Internal memos whispered worst-case scenarios. What if? The film didn't even hit $500 million worldwide, a mark once seen as guaranteed for a franchise this iconic. Then, opening weekend numbers dropped.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
What? So yeah, my agent would have punched me in the face.
The numbers hit like a digital gut punch. Domestically, the film stumbled into second place, beaten by a modest family comedy with pixelated worlds and blocky avatars. Global returns looked just as grim. Early projections showed even the most optimistic longtail wouldn't claw back the budget. Headlines screamed, remake fatigue is real. Shareholders, already uneasy over soft theme park turnout, lit up the earnings calls with tough, uncomfortable questions.
I'm sorry, but I don't really care what happens with this movie. I really hope her career is pretty much over. I'd be thrilled to see that.
How did Disney miss the mark this badly? Where had the marketing faltered? And why did their star seem so at odds with the very fairy tale that made her famous? The board called in top legal minds. Senior counsel combed through Rachel Zegler's contract, zeroing in on a rarely used clause, one triggered only in extreme cases. It required talent to steer clear of statements or behavior that could cause real, measurable damage to the Disney brand.
So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years.
Public backlash, they argued, had a price tag, and it was steep. Surveys linked Rachel's polarizing interviews directly to audience drop-off. The data painted a brutal picture. Negative buzz was killing ticket sales. Disney's number crunchers estimated the damage at around $100 million, enough to bankroll 2 mid-tier animated films or a full season of streaming content. Legal teams built the case slide by slide. Sentiment charts, analytics breakdowns, and side-by-side graphs showing soaring marketing spend against crashing returns.
Here's what I told Bob. I said, I'm curious, Bob, don't you think messages like this is why Disney keeps having box office flops?
Even advertisers started backing away. Tie-in deals quietly vanished as the backlash snowballed. Meanwhile, Rachel's team pushed out light apologies, none of which stuck. One self-shot video, filmed against a blank wall, aimed for sincerity, but felt scripted. The phrase, learning opportunity, surged, mostly in negative comments. And just like that, on the brink of a critical reshoot day meant to salvage the international cut, the narrative was slipping further out of Disney's hands.
Just listen to what she says. She just sounds bitter and angry.
Even advertisers started backing away. Tie-in deals quietly vanished as the backlash snowballed. Meanwhile, Rachel's team pushed out light apologies, none of which stuck. One self-shot video, filmed against a blank wall, aimed for sincerity, but felt scripted. The phrase, learning opportunity, surged, mostly in negative comments. And just like that, on the brink of a critical reshoot day meant to salvage the international cut, the narrative was slipping further out of Disney's hands.
If you talk shit, it's going to come back.
Hollywood was stunned. Suing your own lead. It was like striking a match inside a fireworks warehouse. Talent agencies whispered boycott threats. Producers panicked over the precedent. But behind the scenes, many quietly admitted this partnership had become impossible to manage. One casting director revealed that studios now assign full-time staff just to monitor talent's social media. Precautionary guardrails built for exactly this. But never had they failed this spectacularly or cost this much.
were raised on it. People like me who watched Disney princess movies when the world was okay and it was acceptable for us to dream about being a princess as a woman and meeting a handsome prince. But oh no, these big bad feminists now are telling us that's ridiculous.
One executive called it inevitable, the crash between raw live stream culture and a century-old brand built on control. Outside Disney's walls, the story took on a life of its own. It wasn't just news, it was entertainment, a real-time saga unfolding across every screen. Each new move from either side fed the machine. Podcasts broke it down, late-night shows cracked jokes, reaction channels speculated, and TikTok threads spun wild theories by the minute.
How dare you want to meet a handsome prince and be swept off of your feet and live happily ever after? No, you should want to be the prince. You should want to go out and fight the bad guys with a sword. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that.
Inside the industry, jaws dropped. Suing your own lead actress? That's like lighting a match inside a fireworks warehouse. Agencies threatened boycotts. Producers trembled at the precedent. Yet behind closed doors, many quietly admitted the partnership had become unmanageable. One casting director revealed that studios now assign entire teams solely to vet actors' online presence, a precaution designed for moments like this, but never had it been deployed at such staggering cost. Another executive called it the inevitable clash between live stream culture and a century-old brand obsessed with Polish. Meanwhile, outside Disney's gates, the saga turned into a global spectator sport. Every move from both camps fueled late-night monologues, podcasts, reaction videos, and speculative TikToks. Amateur legal pundits dissected the complaint line by line. Would a jury consider Rachel's words harmful violations or just personal opinions? Some predicted a quiet settlement in weeks. Others imagined a legal battle so drawn out, it might rewrite how Hollywood handles talent contracts. During the chaos, a rival pixelated adventure film, once doubted for its minimalist aesthetic, scorched through theaters. It didn't just outpace Snow White, it buried it. Charts showed a chasm between the two, one soaring, the other stagnating. Analysts argued it wasn't about budget or marketing, it was attitude. The game movie celebrated fans, nostalgia, and fun. Kids shouted catchphrases in packed screenings. Snow White's lobby? Quiet. Disney's top brass watched the numbers slump. With every underwhelming weekend, damages mounted. Merch partners pulled back. Retailers shrunk shelf space. Even cruise line shows were canceled. PR opportunities evaporated. Every studio statement sparked backlash. Hashtags urging Disney to leave the classics alone trended on repeat. Rachel's vanishing only deepened the intrigue. Paparazzi snapped grainy shots. Maybe her, maybe not. At a luxury mall in Dubai, or dining behind tinted glass. Was she hiding from subpoenas? Seeking legal asylum abroad? Conspiracy theories flourished. Whispers claimed crisis consultants flew in to craft her comeback in a penthouse boardroom overlooking the sea. Meanwhile, Disney's fiscal quarter ended with a painful thud. Earnings missed expectations. Analysts blamed Snow White for a third of the shortfall. The lawsuit, some speculated, had two aims: recover losses and reassure investors that accountability still lived in the Magic Kingdom. Skeptics, though, warned the message might alienate future stars. Would rising talent now fear taking legacy roles if speaking out meant nine-figure consequences? Film critics turned their attention to the movie's creative misfires. The rewrite of romance into governance felt hollow. Snow White aspiring to lead a nation could have worked, if done with nuance. Leaked focus group notes spoke of stilted dialogue and jarring world-building. Concept art revealed the enchanted forest reimagined as a steampunk maze. Proof, critics argued, of an identity crisis. Layered with awkward press moments, it all projected a disdain for tradition audiences immediately sensed. Under pressure, Disney's CEO called a retreat to a historic campus once home to its greatest animations. The result? A new mandate. Fewer remakes, more original storytelling, and a mandatory media training program for marquee talent. Privately, Disney's legal team extended a feeler to Rachel's reps. Maybe a deal was possible after all. Rumors floated of a gradual repayment structure tied to future earnings, not a single lump sum. But both sides leaked stories blaming the other for stalled progress. Eventually, Rachel reemerged, not with an apology or interview, but a single, artfully lit photo on a private account. Book in hand, city skyline behind her. The caption, "Still learning." Fans zoomed in on every detail. Disney's lawyers saw something else. Proof of location. They filed for expanded digital jurisdiction the same day. Yet almost as quickly, word spread that mediation talks had restarted. Reports spoke of a high seven-figure settlement, co-funded charity initiatives, and a mutual non-disparagement clause. Rachel could return to acting, but any earnings beyond a set amount would partially flow back to Disney, like a royalty stream rather than a penalty. Neither side confirmed the deal, but signs pointed to a thaw. Meanwhile, a simple fairy tale, musical from a rival studio premiered and quietly succeeded. Disney answered with a vibrant original animation built on themes of unity and joy. Critics praised it as a return to heart. They found their soul again, one reviewer wrote, referencing Snow White only as the stumble that sparked the pivot. Yet, the lawsuit's shadow lingered. Social platforms flared with every docket update. Some called for mercy, others demanded accountability. Commentators debated whether Disney was silencing an artist or protecting its legacy. By autumn, whispers said mediation had worked. A structured payout, a co-branded charity, and strict agreements to keep the drama out of headlines. The actress could pursue roles again, but a share of future success would go toward repairing the brand she fractured. A path to redemption, but never quite a return to the kingdom. And so the saga edged toward epilogue. Hollywood insiders began referring to it with a single line. Remember the Snow White incident. A cautionary tale for studios, stars, and marketers alike. Casting directors now double as digital archaeologists. Executives weigh personal volatility alongside box office pull. And actors navigate a tighter rope where advocacy, authenticity, and audience reception must align with airtight clauses. As for Rachel, she reportedly journals daily. Pages filled with reflections on intention versus impact, on the cost of speaking freely when every sentence can be clipped and judged. Whether that writing becomes a memoir, a podcast, or just internal clarity, only time will tell. But Hollywood, ever a lover of comeback arcs, already buzzes with rumors of indie scripts and festival debuts. Back in Burbank, Disney's castle still stands. But its playbooks now include entire chapters on TikTok dynamics, influencer fallout, and brand crisis. Algorithms. One exec joked that the next generation of princesses will attend media boot camp with a blackout on personal soapboxes until the final credits roll. Because if there's one lesson this fable etched in stone, it's this. Stories. Those. Timeless vessels of wonder are bigger than brands, stars, or social media storms. And when storytellers forget their pact with the audience, even a kingdom of dreams can crack. But with patience, wisdom, and humility, even fractured tales can turn toward something new.